order. We'll start by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
and
Stand.
nation under
One
God,
nation,
indivisible,
under God.
visible,
liberty, and justice.
with justice for all.
All right. I'm gonna just bear with me while I read through this checklist for right to know. So, in accordance with the Governor's Emergency Order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, the Goffstown Economic Development Council Committee will utilize the emergency meeting provisions of RSA 91A to conduct meetings through electronic means while preserving the extent feasible the public's right to notice of such meetings and ability to observe and listen contemporaneously. Public access meeting by telephone call 603-766-JOIN or 5646, participant code 785645 #. Problems with access. Residents experiencing problems with access during the meeting are asked to call 603-384-3624. Access, watch the meeting live on Goffstown Television Channel 22 or on GTV Facebook page at www.facebook.com/GoffstownTV. Facebook will not be monitored for public participation during public comment. Residents interested in participating in the public comment should call public telephone access number. All right, Town of the Goffstown Right to Know checklist, or Right to Know law meeting checklist. As chair of the Goffstown Economic Development Committee, due to the COVID-19 outbreak and in accordance with the Governor's New News Emergency Order number 12, pursuant of Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant of the Governor's Emergency Order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that there are providing public access to meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or electronic means. The town is utilizing the WebEx platform for the electronic meeting. The public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in the meeting through the dialing of the following telephone number: 603-766-JOIN or 5646, and using the participate code 785645 followed by the pound sign. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. The town previously gave notice to the public of how to access the meeting using the available telephone number with the posted agenda, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are any problems with access. If anybody has a problem with telephone access, please call 603-384-3624. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at the same time. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call vote in attendance. When each member states their presence, also state whether there is anyone else in the room during the meeting, which is required under Right to Know. So switch back to Zoom or WebEx. Joanne Duffy.
Hi, Joanne Duffy, Planning and Economic Development Director.
Good.
My granddaughter is next to me, not next to me, but she's in the next room. And my dogs are floating around.
Chet.
Chet Bowen, Select Board Rep, and I am the only one in the room.
Gail.
Gayla Breck, Recording Secretary, and I am the only one in the room.
Bonnie.
Okay, let's see. Bonnie David, Vice Chair, only one in the room, but I must be on here 3 times.
I'm gonna. Can we mute Bonnie's other? Somebody else has control over that.
I just did it.
Okay.
Okay, so Bonnie. I hope I did the
She's
right
still
one.
muted.
She muted all Bonnies.
She's muted.
No,
Bonnie,
I think I'm here, am I?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
My video evidently isn't where, I don't know, whatever.
This is going swimmingly.
If I leave the meeting and come back in, will the video work?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Probably.
Moving on.
Probably. I've done that before.
All right, John.
John Napoli, member and present, and I am the only one in the room.
And I am Greg Rodriguez, chair of this committee, and I am the only one in the room. Okay, so we're gonna start off by the approval of minutes from the September 2nd, 2020 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 2nd, 2020 meeting.
Second,
All right, so we have a second call to order. Joanne,
Yes.
Bonnie, that was you that seconded, right?
yes, that's correct.
Okay, John,
Yes.
I also agree. Motion carries. Okay. So Gail, we're gonna move on to all the new business. Gail has the term is expiring in 2021, and you are resigning from the board as a member, correct?
I am.
Well, that's sad to hear.
I'm here.
Well, you guys are going to start to do a lot of things that are going to be done outside of the meetings, and my schedule is not going to allow that right now. So with Jeremy Jones, he had expressed interest, so I'd rather give up the seat for him.
Understood. Well, we
Yeah.
thank you for your service in the committee.
Gail will still be with us.
I'll still be doing minutes.
Right. All right.
Do we need to do a vote for that?
You can make a motion to accept Gail's resignation
Resignation.
with regret.
Okay.
I just did that.
Okay.
I second that motion. All right, we'll call it again. Joanne,
Yes.
Yes.
Gail is Jonathan.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Motion carries. Gail, you're free
Thank you.
as a member. All right. So, Chet, this is you.
Yep.
Board goals.
Very quick updates. As we talked about before, the sector by sector approach is going to wait until after there is an actual recovery. And unfortunately, we don't know when that will be. Hopefully soon. Fingers crossed. Second, I'm not sure if we put together a subcommittee. I saw the agenda. I didn't see the specific subcommittee listed, but I'm hoping that we can talk to some businesses about sharing some best practices based on what they do, so that some other businesses may also have a better chance at survival during uncertain times. And third, the ad hoc committee for the bridge from the end of the rail trail over to downtown is up and running. I would highly encourage whenever it's on to try to see if you can either watch, participate somehow, but certainly read the minutes, and I'll try to update as things go. The chair, who's also the chair of the select board, Carlos Adams, is very aware that the Economic Development Council is willing to do anything we possibly can to help with that initiative. And given the amount of uncertainty right now with so many other things, that might be a place for us to focus as far as from a select board goals perspective. And as of now, that is what I have.
Chad, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I submitted my application on 9/4 to be on that ad hoc committee, and I haven't heard from anybody.
So we went through the select board. The select board went through a number of names. I think everyone that I saw during the meeting, and Joanne, keep me honest here, or maybe Gail, because you were there. I believe everyone that we saw that had volunteered, that the names came forward, were on it either as a member or an alternate, correct?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Was 9/4 too late? Is there a reason Bonnie wasn't on there?
I believe Bonnie's name was included on that
Okay.
list,
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
but I'm surprised you haven't heard from anyone.
I haven't heard a word. And yeah, because the applications were due 9/9, so the minute I got it, I submitted it.
Great. Well, that's good. So Bonnie, I think at the last meeting where we discussed it, the next step was to identify a night and a time. So
Okay.
I would imagine someone will reach out for feedback from you on that.
Well, should I follow up with someone or just let it lie?
I
I
can
follow up with
check with Derek tomorrow and get back to you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Chet. Anybody else have any questions for Chet?
No, but as far as the business best practices, Joanne had sent me the list for all the businesses in town. And what I did was I went through and I found the rest of them that weren't showing up. I don't know if you can see my list, but these are the rest of the town ones that have not shown up. I have all their emails and I have their phone numbers. And the list that Joanne, you gave me did not have any phone numbers, so I could not, I mean, I could look them up, I suppose, but to call, if you have a list with the phone numbers, I'm happy to start calling. So what are you doing with best practices? What would you like to have done with that?
Are you talking to me or Joanne?
To you.
Okay, so there are some businesses that have been able to adapt to the pandemic, and it's been going on long enough now that I would imagine there are some best practices that they put in place. And I mean for two things. It's a great question, Bonnie. It's not just the survival of the business, although that's paramount, but it's also the helping to keep your business open, but also doing your civic duty to help, stop the spread of coronavirus. So I'm looking for two things. So an example might be the easiest one, obviously, that I don't think I'm giving away any secrets here, would be restaurants, which some in the town have done. When they're doing, they in the beginning they did takeout only. And even when you went in to take out, you had to wear a mask to go in. You had to social distance when you went in there. Usually, if you were going to grab your food, you grabbed it on your own. It had your name on it, and you would take it out. And so that's an obvious example of being able to still sell your product and probably sell it at a high level that's comparable, but probably not as great as it once was, and also keep people safe. And that's what I'm hoping we can do. And there might be a paper company that has changed their method of delivery or their method of sharing their product, and also have found a way to stop the spread, or at least not contribute to it. So I should say to not contribute to it. That's what I'm hoping to find. And I think there's a lot of great minds on this board, but there's a lot of stuff out there I haven't thought of, and a lot of businesses that provide services that I'm not probably aware of. And I think that in sharing those things, it might give some other businesses some pretty good ideas to do both things.
And I think that would actually touch on the sixth point that we're going to get to in a bit is the subcommittee task force that I think we could, lean on best practices by small businesses and ideas we have as a group that we could address.
So are you looking to put a list together? Is that what you're looking to do? Put some kind of a pamphlet or something together so that we can provide that to all the businesses in town?
Yep. If I recall, what we were going to do was gather this information, provide feedback to the businesses that gave it to us one way or another. If we think that maybe we've seen a trend, and so we'll look for trends. And then I believe, Joanne, that we were hopefully trying to share it on the site, on the website, so that not only existing businesses but new businesses who may be looking to get started now would have an opportunity to read through it and ask questions. And because, Joanne, we can still invite anyone to attend these meetings, any business in town to attend this meeting virtually, correct?
Right.
Yes,
So,
it's a public meeting.
yep.
I
So does that
did
answer your
ask,
question, Bonnie?
No, I guess, yeah, it is.
Wait,
I
you guess? We have time here.
No, I'm just thinking that, when I make some of the phone calls just to make sure their email addresses and their information is correct.
Yep.
I could be asking questions.
I think that's a good idea. Yep.
What are you doing, to make life better during this pandemic?
Yep.
So if you want me to, I'd be happy to do that and get some ideas together.
Yeah, I'll certainly leave that up to the chair, but I think if you can do that, I would say the best method is to see if you can convince them to send you a small blurb of what they're doing, so
Okay.
that you could compile it, look for trends, and then share it in a synopsis kind of way for each kind of business on our website.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I wonder if they have
Thank
a
you.
tiered. I wonder if they have a phased approach of how they're going to do this for the coming months, especially the winter, because they could have a fall plan or a summer plan, but is there a winter plan? So.
Right.
Yep.
I spoke with one of the restaurant owners yesterday, and they basically said, they're holding their own, but even though they appear to be busy, but their sales are much lower than they normally are. So even though they're busy, it's certainly not up to the same amount of people. They're closing a lot earlier. They've turned into more of a maybe restaurant takeout. So there, I think all of these businesses have made adjustments. Some have been more creative with it and tried to make the best of it as much as they can. Others are struggling. I believe the Japanese restaurant in the old Shaw's Plaza has closed.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look
I
like
think
they're
so.
going to reopen, which is a big loss. And I don't know about the Shaking Crab. I mean, they say they're open, but it seems like they're opening and closing. So it doesn't seem very consistent. So I think if you talk to any of these business owners, especially the ones that appear to be busy, find out like what they're struggling with as far as, they're working twice as hard to keep things going, and people aren't seeing behind the scenes and everything that they have to do differently, like either have new menus for every person or have them coded and wipe them down each time. And
Yeah.
every little thing that they have to do like that takes time, which costs money. So, so support your local businesses as much as you can.
Yep.
So Gail, you're going to send me a new list with all their phone numbers, correct?
I mean, Joanne.
I mean, Joanne, not you, Gail, sorry.
I was
Joanne.
like,
I don't have it. I couldn't do it.
I don't have many I have some phone numbers, but I'll send you everything I have. Let's put it that way.
All right, and I'll compile it from there so that
Okay.
I think we need to have an accurate list of what's going on in our town with the businesses.
Yeah.
And so I think I found all of them.
The most accurate list that we have is the list that Stephen gave me from UNH Cooperative. So I thought I sent you that one, but I'll check again. That one's like
No.
the longest. No.
Yeah, I don't think so. It just looks like this. Can you see what I've got?
Not
not
really.
really.
That better? There, it just has the name of the business and then the email, and that's it. It just says
Okay.
Goffstown business list.
That list that you're looking at are the businesses that I have the emails for.
Right.
And we're looking for emails from the other businesses from Stephen's list to fill in the blanks. So I'll send you that one as well.
Okay, fine. And I also, like I said, I've found 30 little businesses in town that are on the outskirts kind of, but they're vital to our town.
Right.
Tax preparers, that kind of stuff. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
CGI.
So if you remember, Derek had sent me an email about 2 months ago asking if the EDC would take a look at this company called CGI, which does videos for communities. And I think the closest one was in New Hampshire, was Littleton, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And what they do is they make 5 separate videos. One is sort of an introduction to the town. Another one is about the, recreation, just different topics, whatever the town had in mind. They do about 5 of them, and they're short videos. And then they put them on their website. And then they go out to this company goes out to the business owners and they ask, would you like to participate in advertising? And so what they do is they place the logo around the perimeter of the video on the page on the website. And the deal is that you click that logo and it brings you to that particular business. So at the last meeting when we discussed this, you had asked me to contact some of the businesses in Littleton and see if they liked it. And I got kind of not a great review. One company told me that they had forgot that they even did any such thing and they never followed up with it. They just paid the money. It seemed like everyone said they paid between $1,000 and $2,000.
And they didn't notice any difference from it?
No, not one
No.
business owner told me that they noticed any difference at all. one business really talked about it quite a bit, and they said when the town put the link to go to this video, it was at the very bottom of the town's page. And by the time you scrolled down there, you really didn't even see it. So she thought it was pretty useless. When I went on the Littleton website today, it looks like, because before it just said, the video said Town of Littleton, and it had a little information, and then the video would start. Today, it had a link right at the top. It said businesses. So you click that link and it brought you to the Chamber of Commerce where they had taken over the video. So maybe the town didn't want to bother with it after a while, but it was in a much better place. It was at the top. You clicked it and went to this video. So, and then it gave you the choice of going to other videos, like maybe 5 others or 4 others. So this woman told me from one of the businesses that that was her biggest problem. She said it took over a year to actually finish this whole project. And she was not happy with that. And she said she didn't blame the company. She sort of thought that the town didn't act as quickly as they could. And then she said COVID came and everything got screwed up, because what happened was they were putting all of the information at the top of the page, all about the COVID messages, and then that got pushed down to the bottom. So I didn't find anyone that really had anything great to say. I will say that here, it seems like a simple project if the GTV can do, even if it's a short video, just do like an introductory video about the town. And I don't think it needs to be very long, maybe 45 seconds or so, because people will lose interest. And then somehow figure out how, you're certainly not going to charge the businesses, but figure out how you could put the logos around and have it go to their websites without crowding it with too many businesses, maybe change them out every so many months or something. I think it's doable. One person did tell me he thought the only good for this video, the only positive, was that it helped the town, because the town now have these nice videos. But he said he didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like if they didn't get anything from it, at least during COVID times, maybe it just gets tabled until it's all part of the recovery process, if we were going to approach it then.
Was it something that could be put on social media too, on on a town Facebook page that could maybe get some more social media traffic to it instead of just the
Sure.
page?
No, not IT, but GTV was supposed to be doing something similar to this. And then I think when they got busy, I don't know exactly what happened, but it never really took off. So I'm sure we could certainly talk to Adam again and see if we could do something. He must have some clips and things from other events and things that
Yeah.
he could.
I think we could even talk about what businesses are doing to keep safe during this time. If we're going to capitalize on anything and we're all about COVID, like, yeah, let's
Right.
talk about what our business is. Let's feature that part if we're going to do something. And how expensive is this? And what is it coming out of
Well, it's the time that it would take for staff time for GTV.
Well, I'm talking about CGI. How much would it cost?
Oh, CGI. So this is the way they sold it was there's no cost to the town, but then once the videos are done, then they say to these business owners, hey, how would you like to put your logo on this video? And
That's what it costs.
for $1,000, we'll keep it on there and we'll keep it on the website. And
I don't know. I guess I have an issue with, like, especially lean times right now. Like that's
Yeah.
$1,000 is quite a bit.
exactly, some of these people are struggling to pay their rent.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think we should table it.
I think just table it. Let's see what it looks like in the spring. Maybe reach out then. I mean, if GTV wants to do something, fine. I I think with CGI right now, I don't know if that would be I don't know if that'd be productive or even a fiscally smart thing to do
Right.
for
I agree.
right now.
I agree. I think that the Economic Development Council ideally is a vehicle for these businesses to look to us for us to help them thrive. I don't want to be a vehicle for another business to go in and try to get money from these businesses. So, I agree with the chair that I think or Bonnie, I think the vice chair, we
Mhm.
table it until the spring or maybe permanently until we can really get some idea of how it does truly benefit businesses. And Littleton it's certainly geographically different from us, but they have a lot of similar kinds of businesses. And if they're not reporting anything positive from it, I feel like we have a responsibility to hold off.
The business owners were so open and willing to talk to me about it. And
Yeah.
one of them, the man who forgot all about it, he said, Littleton is thriving. He said, if you drive through the main area on a Friday night, the traffic is has very much increased. He said that the city itself has been doing a great job in promoting themselves. And he said he thinks there's more, not distilleries, but breweries in the city than there is anywhere else. I don't know how many there are, but sounds like it's a hot place to go now. So,
Road
and
trip.
he said Bethlehem is also starting to, I've never been to Bethlehem, but he said Bethlehem is also starting to wake up and become, a little bit more of a go-to place than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll tell Derek
You
that
know,
the board would like to just table it and
yeah, let's table it.
bring it up at a later date.
You don't need a motion for that, do you, Greg? Then we'll table it.
Yeah, just
Okay.
table it.
Right.
AARP Strong Towns.
So the town, I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, that
Mhm.
AARP was going to do some work for us through, actually, they were paying for Strong Towns to do some work for us. And we had a Zoom meeting last week with the director of AARP for New Hampshire and the people from Strong Towns. And I sent you just a small portion of the toolkit, but there's maybe like 6 different presentations that they could give. And now that we're all at home, they would be doing this virtually rather than in person. But they said that they could take a date in December, obviously prior to Christmas. And we have to pick one out of the 6 we would have to choose. Derek and I were going to look at this, and the woman, Michelle, who we've been dealing with from Strong Towns, she recommended either the local leaders toolkit, which it states that the next step local leaders must take to stabilize their communities and put them on the path to recovery. And it's a 60-minute kind of webinar with time at the end for questions and answers. And lots of people would be invited to this to participate and see where we would go with it. It sounds like it's pretty good. The other one that she recommended was it's called the Curbside Chat. And I think that's more for like cities. It's like it claims that, cities find themselves after a strong growth period, they find themselves in a decline and they
Mhm.
have to show a revolutionary way forward. And I don't really think that's Goffstown. But the other one sounds promising. So I have to get together with Derek and he's going to choose which one. And then obviously you guys would all be included. And, we can see what they have to say about actually moving forward in this time of COVID. And it's free for the town. AARP is paying for it.
Even better.
So it's a win-win.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did send you, there was, I think it was,
Are you talking about?
who was doing it? There was a seminar that was coming up in October talking about,
I think you did send that. Yeah.
yeah, if you're interested, it's free. So you can just sign up on your own. Okay, so that's all I have with that.
Business owners concern. Does anybody want to ask Joanne any questions about that before we move on to the next agenda item? Okay. Business owners concerned. So I got approached by a resident of Goffstown who knew I was the chair of the EDC. There was a complaint by that this person heard, firsthand, and then I hear it secondhand. So I don't know how that goes, but the concern is that this person is treated unfairly by the town about their business and where things have, what they have done, and they feel like their other businesses are being favored over this person's business without any alternatives. So this person feels singled out and had high praise for Joanne because Joanne did help. But there were other members of the town. They just feel like there are no resources available to them and what they can do to get help. And, as this committee can serve as kind of an advocate for small businesses. To me, this is concerning because it's, what's, if we're not, if the town's not providing good service to them with alternatives for things, what's stopping this person from just going to Manchester or another town, empty storefronts don't look good if you're looking to bring business in. So I just wanted to bring this up to the group.
I have a question. Would this business owner, and I understand you said you heard it secondhand, so I know that that's challenging, but do you think this business owner would be willing to come to the EDC to discuss some of the challenges that they're facing so that we then could turn around, like, as you know, I'm here as a rep of the select board, so maybe I could bring it back to the select board and the town administrator along with Joanne and have a deeper conversation about it. Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible we could ask this person if they would like to
Yeah.
join us for the November meeting and talk about this. I think for us as a group, we want businesses to come here to this meeting and talk to us about this stuff because we can be that resource. And it's not just town folk; it's other departments with not just town hall. It's other departments in the town that aren't helpful. So I think it's unacceptable. So. I think, reaching out to this business owner to be at the next meeting, I think would be good so we can actually hear it firsthand.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Could you do that, Joanne? I mean, if anything, it's a sounding board. It's on public record. And I think that would be, that's what we want to. We want to give people in the town, especially businesses, a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a safe space. So. All right. I mean, I think in the meantime too, I think if there is some sort of resolution that we can get to that point, so coming in and with the hair on fire, I think that's good. What can we do as a resolution? Time being.
I think it's hard because the businesses are hurting so badly right now, and some of these businesses count on some of the events and that everything's been canceled, and which makes it difficult. And then there's rules and regulations that we're supposed to be enforcing.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know if the selectmen have any power to lessen up on those rules for a certain period of time. But that seems to be the main problem here with this. But I'm supposed to be meeting with this person on actually tomorrow, I believe. So I can get more information, but it's difficult because we as staff don't have any authority to say like, oh, okay, you can do that, but the rules say something different. And sometimes I think the town needs to take another look at all of the restrictions that we have, because just as an example, if you go, if you go through other small towns in New Hampshire, you'll see some of them, not even small towns, the cities as well. The ones that have the outdoors dining and displays and things going on, you look around and you think, oh, this is a really cool town. But here, there's a million rules attached to allowing businesses to do that, and that's where the
The butting heads come in.
yes, I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
So that's the difficulty, and I mean, like I said, I don't know if the selectmen have any authority to do anything about that, but
Well, number one, my most honest answer to that question is I am not sure, because it depends on which rules and regulations are applied that are affecting the business owner and whether that falls under the select board purview. It could be sewer, it could be a number of other places. But I can tell you that personally, as a member of the select board, who really would like to see economic development be a strong point in town, it's something I'm personally invested in discussing and trying to help find solutions for. So sorry if me not knowing seems like I'm trying to escape the question, but there's a number of different factors that are involved in that. So.
and again, we're in different times now, so normally I don't think the selectmen would have any ability to do anything. I don't know during this pandemic if they do. Like, I'm not saying to do it forever, but during the pandemic, I was reading something somewhere where someone was recommending, as an example, they should be encouraging home businesses right now, rather than, we haven't had any problem with that, but other towns apparently have, and they have very strict rules about it. And with so many people working from home now, maybe some of these towns are hassling them. I'm not really sure, but that was just an example that I happened to read recently.
Yep.
So we'll see if we can get, so Julian, if you want to follow up with that, I know you said you were meeting, if you could, but if you could, and to give out the invitation, and we'd
Yep,
love,
I will,
love to hear from this
definitely.
person.
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you. I think this is old / new business of the subcommittee. We talked about this last meeting, and this is what I came up with is maybe we can combine some of these together, but I think 2 to 3 people in this committee per per thing, I think per bullet point, whatever, would be good to tackle. I know, Jonathan, you said something about the social media and for the page. I just think you go away. I went to the Goffstown web pages a few times. And it's a little clunky to maneuver around. It's kind of like hard to get business information. If we just put, can figure out a way to put, requirements and businesses on the Facebook page, because people check Facebook more than they go on the Goffstown web page. So that's just my idea about social media for businesses. We can highlight, I know we can't advertise for them, but highlight businesses and what they can do there, on a Facebook page or Twitter or whatever. We have social media, which is pretty much free at our disposal.
Sorry, Greg, do we have a social media page or a Facebook page already established for this group?
Not for this group. We use the town's Facebook page.
I know we talked about being able to do that, but we were never able to have our own Facebook page. So John, you're right, Jonathan. If we could, it would be awesome, because then we could be reaching out more in the community.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, if we invite some of these businesses on social media to if we have our own EDC page, we can put some of these questions up. What are you struggling with? What are your, we can put some of those questions up with our contact information. It'd just be another avenue to get some of the information out there.
Yeah, let me just step in. This is a conversation we've been having for a while, and if my understanding is correct, We are able to have our own Facebook page. However, what goes on it still needs to be approved through Joanne and the town administrator, and ultimately that means the select board. So it may not move as quickly. I think most of us in our generation are used to information coming at us so fast. So, this would take, allowing it to go through the approval process. I can't think of anything that this group would want to put up that would be not approved. So I think it's possible that we could, the select board could allow the town administrator to make a final decision on these things, which means Joanne could get it, provide the content to the town administrator, and we could get a quicker turnaround, which is something I would obviously support. So I do think there is a lot of room for a Facebook page, an Economic Development Council page. We had guests from Concord come in and talk to us about what they're doing with their own Facebook pages. And if you do, I follow what they do in Concord, and how often they're posting new things about what they're doing. And it's impressive. And I'd like to follow suit on that. Joanne, am I correct when I said that we are allowed to have a page? It just has to be approved. Am I misspeaking?
I don't remember if they ever agreed that we have our own page. What they did was, I can go on Facebook, and I've been posting things mostly about the COVID and all of the grants that have been available, things like that. And I haven't had to get anyone's approval to do that. But I noticed when they set up the Facebook page, they have one for town planner or something. I forget what they call it. But if I go on that page and post, I don't have any followers. So it doesn't go on to the town page. It goes on to this planner page that no one knows about. So I've just been putting everything on the town page.
But how much traffic do we actually get to the town page? How much traffic are we getting there?
I was getting reports from IT, but I haven't seen any for the past few months. It wasn't much.
No.
Well, I shouldn't say that. What the report they gave me was strictly for the economic development pages of their website.
Yeah, that's what I
No.
mean. It's like it's
Right,
hard to
which
get
was
to.
not, right.
Hard to find.
Facebook itself, I don't know. I probably can go on there and see it now that I have a sign in. But
Even if it's just
I don't
another
remember.
resource that we're offering,
Yeah.
it's just easier to find people on Facebook if they like it, especially small businesses. They can post there. It's just another app.
Right, and they can post on that too. So that's the nice thing is they can post our business is open from blah, 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 for takeout or whatever it is, they can be posting on that,
Well, they can't post on our Facebook town page.
No, but they could if we did economic development, they could respond to something with a post is what I'm saying.
They could respond as well to the Facebook page. But we have a regulations where it states we're not supposed to engage. Like if someone asks a question, we can answer, but we can't get into like a back and forth that.
Well, that's what I mean. That's right. We can direct them towards an answering body.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
like
Right, so we can't say something like, tell us what's going on in your business.
No, we can say that, but when you send
Okay.
it out, you're sending it out to all of the followers right now of the Facebook page, unless we start to get followers on the other sign in that they have for me.
I think it's something we could, I think this is a good subcommittee topic to tackle. So, and I don't know if we can want to deliberate everything because we're just still at the first point under the
Right.
subcommittee. So I think this is a good topic for the subcommittee to talk about.
Well, so for the first step, how do we figure out if we, definitively can have a Facebook page?
Our own Facebook page.
That's a Joanne and ask Derek, and then it may come back to the select board. I could be misspeaking. I feel like we already could have one. We weren't providing any content as a council to get it approved and start our own Facebook page. I think if we provide content, examples of content, I can certainly go on record now and saying I absolutely support it. and Economic Development Council town page. I think we are, as a town, when it comes to these specific social media type opportunities, we are far behind where we need to
Far
be.
behind.
So
It has improved because prior to this year, whenever I wanted to post something, I had to send it to Adam McCune, and then he would have to get approval from Derek, and
Mhm.
then it would get posted. Now I can actually go on there and post.
Good.
It's just like you say, you want it. It would be better if you had your own Facebook page rather than, because you want to
Because it gets
focus towards the
buried.
businesses, not
Right.
the residents so much.
Yep.
Yep.
And I
And-
think we have that with that other sign in. It's just a matter of now getting people to follow it,
Okay.
which probably wouldn't be that hard to do.
I don't think so either, especially with businesses. It's just another way to advertise for them.
Yeah.
Even if
Exactly.
it- yeah.
And we have that list of all the business owners with the emails. We could just send it out and say, hey, follow our new Facebook page.
Yep.
You know, you can put PPE applications, you can do all
Yeah.
kinds of things on that. So yeah, good.
And I think you just going on to the second, Bonnie, I don't think you intentionally did it, but you really provided a nice segue into the next bullet.
If I could just add one more thing before
Sure.
you go. Like today, as an example, there was a notice that came down that there's additional funding for the farms. So I just sent that out to, I have like 4 or 5 farms that I have emails for in
Right.
town. So I just sent that out. And I've been doing all of that through email versus the Facebook page.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they do get it. So
Get out of here.
It's Bonnie's cat.
Sorry. I didn't even realize he was there. Sorry. I was looking at my list for farms.
So is your cat.
Yeah.
I think just going second point, COVID help. I think this ties into a lot of things that we were just talking about. I mean, that could probably be combined with B and C, website updates. I think A, B, and C could all be included one because I think it should be a one-stop shop for updates. I saw that the 2019 article on the housing market is still up. Like, to me, that's really old news. And
old news.
yeah, if there's anything that needs to be updated, I feel like that page should be
Mhm.
gone. 2020, we're almost in 2021 right now. So that's, I think,
I can get you some Goffstown market updates as to what's
Sure.
going on in Goffstown. Would you like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I can
absolutely.
send that to you. All right, I'll send that to you, Joanne.
2020 has been pretty depressing for news.
Yeah, let's get. we're still trying to get 2019 news up. That's why it's desperate for some good stuff. But I think website updates. If we're gonna post stuff on Facebook, let's post it also on the web page. I don't. Does the town have a dedicated webmaster, or is that department by department?
I believe the web page is monitored and updated by IT.
Okay.
The Facebook page is updated and monitored by GTV.
And a punch list. Even putting it on the economic development page, like under your section, your department. A punch list of what they need to do to start a business. Like follow these steps to get there, because contact information, requirements, permits, all those things. It's just a way for them. I mean, I really maybe I missed it, but I was really looking for this information. I couldn't find it. And I think that
Mhm.
if we develop a step-by-step guide, this is for the recovery process. More businesses will come. It'll be transparent. It's a single pane of glass, and that's what they want to see. So
It needs to be easy. It needs to be easy.
Yeah, it does, because we're not giving our businesses the opportunity to come in and start, with ease. And follow up is key. If they're waiting 3 months for follow up, not from you, but from permits and stuff like that, they're gone. they're in Manchester, they're in
Mhm.
Bedford, they're in surrounding towns. Like we lost their business, so it's just it's it's just irresponsible if we don't push these things for them.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, I want to add one point to that punch list. Um, I'm working certainly with the sewer commission on this and a few others, but we need to eliminate even the possibility of surprise expenses when someone's coming in to start a business, so that there will never be a scenario again
Never.
where a business comes in and they think they're following this list, and then suddenly they find out that they have this really big expense at the end.
Yes.
These expenses could be make or break type decisions for these new business owners, or even businesses. Actually, Greg, to expand on that slightly, even businesses looking to change their methods, potentially adding outdoor seating, things like that. And this is where we desperately miss Tim on this board. So when we get back to in person, he is a wealth of knowledge around these things, and it'll be great to have him back to talk about this.
Yeah, I think I think that's probably a 2-week meeting right there. Just
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, it's not. It could take a long time. It could not. But knowing what they need to know, just for no surprise fees, what they plan to do, how to get here, who to talk to. How easy is it to fill out an application for a permit for the fire department? You're like, are these mechanisms in place for them?
Yep.
So it's long overdue. I don't know if it's there, but if it's not, it's long overdue.
One of the difficulties that we seem to have is that a lot of the other departments have their fees listed that we could gather. But the fire department doesn't really have much of anything. And it makes it difficult for the staff and the public, because we can't really provide information unless we have them go directly to the fire department. And it would be helpful to have, there must be a list somewhere to say what the paperwork portion of the fees are. But we don't have that available.
Mr. Selectman,
Joanne, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you just a follow up with Chet. Does the select board have influence on on the fire chief and who they could go to for that?
Well, so here's the situation with fire, is that those fees are variable depending on so many different factors. So when I say no surprise fees, I'd love to include fire, but I think that maybe we need to come up with a range. I know for a fact that Chief Allard is very big on cross training, in making sure that he has a number of different people within his department that understand those fees, that could, I could see pretty easily that we could reach out to them. Joanne, or especially from the EDC purview, we can reach out to them and ask for a range and some criteria that will give a new business owner an idea of what will likely be charged, as long as they don't sign on. Whereas, the sewer commission, for instance, can tell you 6 months ahead of time, when you get your permits, exactly what it's going to be, because there's not a lot of variables there in place. So I think we can talk to Chief Howard about that, and I think he'd be more than happy to provide us with that.
Mhm.
In fact, I'll take that on. I'll talk to him.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Revival of businesses, and I think this part probably. I mean, we don't really know when COVID's ending, but it's good to start planning about it. But we could be a year from now and still remote. So, that's probably another topic. That's probably a topic we probably could table.
Well, actually, Mr. Chair, just if you don't mind me giving you a compliment real quick, and possibly Joanne as well, I'm thinking maybe you put this together. But number 7 really encompasses, the E encompasses A through D. What you're doing in A through D really helps with E. So I think it's kind of like you without maybe even meaning to do it, you created a goal at the end, and everything in between gets it there. There you go. Is that a humble brag, or is that a humble?
Yeah. Oh, it's so intentional. Yeah.
Do you want to set up these committees tonight?
Sure. I think that'd be great. Who wants to tackle social media?
Not everyone raised their hand at once.
Well, I think the answer is, I think that question should be, Joanne, can we do it first and then,
Right.
yeah. So, I mean, these are all going to be ad hoc and not, a terrible, we could report back to the group, as we move
Sounds
along.
like Jonathan could lead that charge, though.
I'm more than happy to to take that on once I know that we're definitively able to do it and the type of content that we're allowed to put up. I'm certainly happy to participate in that.
So Jonathan, based on that, if you don't mind me, doing some actionable things here, if you can potentially work with Greg, Joanne, and just send me a couple of things, examples of what you might like to do. I have, so let me step back a couple things. I can't head any of these committees for obvious reasons, but I can be supportive from my role as a member of the select board. And I'd like, so clearly call me, let me know, send me things via email. If I can get some examples of content, I can at least provide you, John, with feedback of things that might be concerning from a standpoint of a regulatory standpoint, and maybe how we can tweak certain things to still reach our goals. So maybe 2 or 3 things, examples, and you certainly work with Joanne and Greg on that. That can be something I can bring directly to the board, to the town administrator, and say, this is what we're trying to do. Are there any concerns around this?
Jonathan,
Okay.
I might work with you on that committee. I think that'd be a good project for you and I to want to do that.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks. COVID help page. Does anybody want to jump on that?
Let's see, who do we have for anybody else?
Yeah, I know, because we are missing some members today. I don't want to sign either. I want to say, and I hate to just add on to Joanne, but it's like I feel like you would be the most up to date information with the funding and
Right.
stuff like that. But I think that would be a something that and I'm more than willing to help anybody else with these committees.
I know, I was excited about the pedestrian bridge, and I can't wait to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, if we can, because of COVID, we don't even know if another stimulus bill is coming.
Yeah.
Can be approved. So like these are the things that should be available via either Facebook, front page on the website. Like, boom, where do they get this information? So, the language could be in there, but it's just translating the language to the layman's terms for these folks is beneficial. So, I don't mind if we're getting that doing too.
So the website update, I mean, I could just take care of that. I'll get some
Yeah.
information from Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie, if you want to do the website updates on happenings with Goffstown.
Yeah, I'll get you some Goffstown numbers and show you what's been going on for the year.
And I could start putting together the punch list
list.
for what.
Yeah, and Joanne, why don't I work closely with you on that part? Just from a standpoint of there are so many different boards in this town that are involved in that punch list, and if we can create a punch list that gives them the best, because the punch list will not cover everything. There are going to be things that come up, and depending on what kind of business you're starting, you may not follow the same exact steps as the others. So I think we can look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, but even 80% is covered is better than
Absolutely.
0%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, cool. Yay. Feel good about
Yay.
that. Yay.
And Bonnie, thank you so much for calling those businesses and trying to get a best practices for both staying alive and staying alive as a business and also staying alive as people through the preventing of COVID spread. Really
Right.
appreciate that. That's a huge project. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
I agree.
And then I can get in touch with John and Greg to show you what I can do so far on Facebook.
Okay.
And if this other page is already established, maybe we just need to start communicating from there rather than
Yeah.
the main page.
Mhm.
And we can funnel all posts through you, right? If we want to.
Yep.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, Economic Development Director updates, Joanne.
I don't have anything. The planning board's been busy, but several of the applications have been continued for a while, so.
Sure.
All right. I don't have anything else on the agenda. Does anybody want to?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right.
My
Joanne?
cats are hungry. Have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye,
Have a great night.
guys.
Thanks.
John, we'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay,
All right,
great.
sounds good. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye,
everybody.
Gail.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. I can't find.